A motorcyclist wanted for speeding evaded arrest after a high-speed chase from Los Angeles County to Orange County.
Whoa, splitting it. We're online. Hey, everybody, if you guys are just joining us, thank you, first of all. Not a pursuit, oddly enough. Well, actually, it's not so odd. Take a look at this. Motorcyclist, the only one apparently was speed. Started up in, I'm venturing to say, Altadena area. If you guys are...
Los Angeles, Orange County, Friday, October 4th, 2024. California Highway Patrol is pursuing a motorcyclist driving at excessive speeds through Los Angeles. The long-haired motorcyclist was speeding on the freeway in Glendale, Silver Lake, downtown, and Boyle Heights. He was also driving at high speeds in the Long Beach area.
And ascot. He's wearing an ascot. You know, I don't want to poke too much fun at this because this motorcycle is moving at very, very high speeds. We've seen these come to unfortunate ends very quickly. I venture to say that's the wrong side of the road. I don't care what country you're in. He was going against traffic, making a big old U-turn there. I guess we were off at Vermont and getting back onto the Hollywood freeway. It is busy out here. This is, you know, I'm usually the traffic guy, and I can tell you this is a spot where it's always slow, always heavy as I drive it myself. You saw that helicopter flying through the shot. That's going to be the sheriff's ship. The sheriff's ship is over it, even though we're in LAPD area, and this is a this started out as a CHP following possible pursuit. Or sounded like, you know, I'm just going by all that hair back there. I'm venturing to say that that is a male driver for no reason at all. Anyways, you can see that bike clearly a little bit tricked out. Either that or this person really knows his motorcycles. Whoa, I saw a little hard front end braking there, dipping down. Yeah, you can hear in my voice. I am not happy about this. Watching this, there was a lot of crazy moves there. That rider might be very experienced, but again, kind of pushing it to the limit, pushing the bike to the limit, and then also he's got a lot going on, and you just don't want, you know, one little mistake and it's going to be a problem. Back onto the freeway, basically did a little get around the traffic. Tried that a couple times in my car. Couldn't do it as well as he can right there on that bike. Continuing back out there, making his way. Again, you see it. Just the weaving in and out, the hard braking, that front dip, that kind of scared me.
The motorcyclist was reaching speeds in excess of 100 miles per hour. He was also weaving through traffic and avoiding cars on the freeway. After officers attempted to apprehend the motorcyclist, who was driving at excessive speeds, law enforcement opted to back off from an active pursuit due to safety concerns and the potential dangers posed by such a high-speed chase. Instead, they opted to follow the motorcyclist at a safer distance, observing his movements rather than confronting him directly. This tactic, sometimes known as a follow or watch position, is often used to reduce the chance of accidents during a pursuit, especially in densely populated urban areas such as Los Angeles and Orange counties. The California Highway Patrol may use such tactics to maintain public safety while continuing to track suspects in high-risk pursuits.
30 miles an hour. He was pushing 70 and getting up into the 90s at a couple of moments. There you go. Take a look at that. Now he's back up into the hundreds, and, you know, he's coming up on the 4 level. I know this area pretty well, and we're going to have a tough time right here. Shucks. Okay, there he is. Looks like he's going back onto the 101. No, 101, but we're not going into Hollywood. We're just going to stay right here. He should pop out. There he is. And it looks like we're going to be taking the 101 through the downtown Los Angeles area on the north side. This thing moving along very, very quickly. I'm halfway. You know, it's one of those ones. I can't really say. Am I happy that he's back on the freeway? Because we can keep a better eye on him. But again, he's touching those triple digits on that motorcycle. It seems like this rider pretty experienced. But again, if you haven't heard me before, this is not a racetrack. And one little accident, one little mistake, one little misjudgment, and this could just become very tragic. And we've seen motorcyclists cause injury and death to drivers inside of cars as well. Nobody just want to see the bike a little better and what's going on there. We won't stay this tight for the entire ride, but you can riding with one arm. So definitely starting to see a little fatigue in that rider, doing a lot of crazy moves. There's no doubt about it. So maybe this is one of the reasons why we're only going 80 miles an hour right now, trying to get a little bit of rest. Maybe this rider is going to find a spot, pull over, try to hide the bike. Who knows? But the California Highway Patrol, they're not going to just let this go. Their helicopter now here following it along with us. And again, this all happening in the Southgate area. We're going to be on the southbound 710. So if we keep riding this will ride us all the way to the end. We'll be in Long Beach, right by the water. Is that where we're going? Who knows? Yes, I got you. Is that Sarah? Copy. 100 miles an hour, cutting through traffic, mostly on the freeways. When the bike does get off the freeway like we're doing right now, we've seen a lot of driving on the wrong side of the road, cutting off other vehicles, disregard for any kind of lights, traffic lights or anything like that. Very high speeds on both the surface streets and the freeways. Is there anybody?
After authorities retreated, the motorcyclist continued to drive at a high rate of speed on the 710 freeway. While on the 710 freeway near Downey, Norwalk, another motorcyclist was crossing the road. The long-haired motorcyclist handed the motorcyclist an item. It is unclear what the item was.
Little fatigued. Riding with one arm, with one hand right there. Don't know what that other action was. Now we're coming up on another motorcycle. He's handing
off
something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know what? I would venture to say, you know what? I'm going to take a stab at this, and somebody's going to say you're wrong. I venture to say that was some kind of GoPro. I bet you the motorcyclist just handed off the GoPro for some reason. What that was all about, don't know. And we were talking about this earlier because we were on the internet. It is a motorcyclist, but they have the technology now. They can make phone calls with their helmets. Everything is, spoken. They don't need to pull out their phone or anything like that. So maybe this person was making phone calls, trying to get somebody to meet them. Maybe that was a rider that that he knew was going to be there and handed off whatever they just handed off. Again, though, this right now doesn't look that dangerous. But then when you look at those speeds and you realize you're going 90 miles an hour cutting through traffic. Sandra, I'm just so worried that somebody's going to make a turn and this is going to end in a bad way.
That's right. Not only for the motorcyclists, of course, Stu, but all the drivers down there as well, not expecting somebody to be a bullet coming past them at 100 miles per hour on the highway on a motorcycle. Well, it looks like they're trying to engage that car right there, maybe, talking to them.
Yeah.
But you also wonder if there's a GoPro involved, if they're making calls, connecting with another motorcycle, if this is a joyride or some kind of stunt.
Well, all those things are very possible. These are the things we watch these pursuits and we just don't know. I was taking a stab at it. It's been a while since I've been doing anything with motorcycles. I think that's a CBR. I think that's a Honda. I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure somebody out there is going to know better than me. But it definitely has racing tags on it. Those are numbers that don't know. I mean, this could be somebody who's a professional rider on the weekends or does racing, and maybe that's one of the reasons why it didn't stop, because maybe the motorcycle isn't registered and they just don't want to have it impounded. What they're doing right there, very clever. We can't see them right now, but how long are you going to pull that off? And is this what what is this? Is this like going to be one of those Fast and Furious? Is there like a door going to open up and the bike's going to go into one of the cargo containers? I don't think so. I'm very curious what was going on there when we didn't see that motorcycle for a few moments. But this rider clearly seems to be pretty comfortable in a very tense situation, which just, again, just adds to all those questions. Who is this person?
Right.
Why are, you know, why are we still pursuing it? Because a lot of times we'll hear policy and law enforcement will just let a bike go because of the dangers and the high speeds.
That's right, and you said this was in Compton. Are we still in that area now? I see, yes, Compton. And
yes,
clearly very comfortable, knowing their way, navigating through the highway there, and definitely through the streets, almost kind of showboating at this point, just weaving in and out of the lanes. And so far, again, the initial pursuit was a response to the speed.
Right. That in a lot of times, you know, I'm not encouraging, I'm not giving away any secrets. A lot of times law enforcement, especially with a motorcycle, they will, you know, if it just speed, they will just kind of let it go, or they will try to get a license plate and then they'll door knock those people later on or make a note somewhere, and if the bike gets pulled over, it's something that they'll talk about. But you can see it. This motorcycle, very maneuverable, high speeds, on the freeway. Any CHP vehicle except another motorcycle would have a hard time keeping up with this bike. Even the motorcyclist. You know, I'm sure a lot of the California Highway Patrol, I know a lot of the California Highway Patrol guys, they are trained at high-speed driving, high-speed maneuvering with their motorcycles. And those big bikes, they are very agile. But to keep up with this high-speed motorcycle that clearly has a race look to it, that's all I'm going to say right now, it would be very difficult. Looks like we're going to be getting off the freeway, Sandra. We'll see what happens. Once we get off here, it says we're at the west side, so we're down in the harbor.
Well, this could be very dangerous, getting off the freeway and at such a high rate of speed right there, and then now you're thinking about residential streets or surface streets. Wow, but I can't get over how comfortable this driver is just going that fast, like a rocket past all of these cars. And again, getting off the freeway there on the west side, and now unsuspecting drivers going the speed limit on these surface streets and not knowing or prepared for something like this to just whiz by them.
Definitely. And, you know, this is the thing. I don't think anybody ever is going to intentionally try to harm, you know, a rider, this rider, any rider. But, you know, it's just like you said. Nobody's expecting somebody to come by at 80 miles an hour. And one of those riders might just be, you know, getting ready to make a lane change. And here's that bike in an unfortunate position, wrong place, wrong time. And there's just a collision, a touch, anything at 90 miles an hour on the freeway on a motorcycle, that could be devastating. So those are the reasons why any kind of these chases are, for me to watch, difficult, you know, at least a little bit difficult. And that's one of the reasons why a lot of law enforcement, they're just saying, you know what, is it worth it? They have to weigh it out. And you can see it. There is nobody really behind this vehicle. There's nobody there. I can do a little bit wider. I really don't want to lose it. That bike very, very fast moving. But on the 405 freeway, we're in Long Beach now, and nobody's behind it as far as law enforcement. Actually passed a couple of them, and they didn't engage. So clearly they know this is going on. Clearly they have an idea where this bike is, but they're not going to engage because of those high speeds. They are concerned about the driver's well-being and any of the people around them. But that bike continues to make these high-speed maneuvers. There you go. We're going from the far right to the far left to the far right. Not a political term. And you can see it right there. Continuing to move along, high speeds, cutting these corners, cutting the, you know, just weaving between all these cars, threading the needle as it would be. Always very scary.
I wonder how long this type of motorcycle can sustain these types of speeds. Thankfully, we're not seeing 100 miles per hour at this point. We saw him back down a little bit to 75, 80s, but again, picking up speed to the 90s range, I believe. I can't really see very well. But yes, still on the freeway, didn't get off the freeway onto the surface roads at this point, but 87 right now on the highway. Thankfully, there's some bit of relief because it is Friday, perhaps. A lot of people have a long weekend because of the high holy days, and there's not a lot of traffic, it seems.
Right now, not a lot of traffic. There's no doubt about that. Right now, not a lot of traffic, and good for the rider. You know, I kind of wonder, because like I said, it started out in Altadena.
Oh, wow.
And why was this person in Altadena? Now, clearly could have been, out there running errands, doing something, picking up the motorcycle for all we know. But now we're up in, coming out of Long Beach, and you got to wonder, is this a destination? Or because it started up there, you'd think that that bike comes from that area, so we are far from the Altadena area. And as far as how long this bike can go, it all depends on how much fuel it has in there. And also, I've been told in the past that these motorcycles, even at those high speeds, high revs, good, higher fuel consumption, they can go for a good 300 miles on a tank, maybe even more. Mm-hmm. So this could be going on for quite some time. The CHP helicopter, definitely comfortable on that motorcycle. There's no doubt about it. Even right now, riding with one arm. And if you heard me chuck just a moment ago, we're actually coming up on Los Alamitos. My pilot mentioning that there's even more cool jets down there on the ramp. The air show is this weekend. But continuing with what we're doing right here, this rider, they get fatigued. You watch this and you think about somebody driving in a car, maybe not as challenging physically because you're just driving a car, but race car driver might be a little bit different. But when you're on a motorcycle like this, you are using your muscles, and maybe this rider's starting to get a little bit of fatigue, and that's the reason why some of these speeds are slowing down just a little bit. I could almost venture to say that's the reason why one-handed right now, just giving that other hand a rest. But again, just the way they're driving, the movement of the head, that's the only thing we can really gauge by up here, because we can't really talk to this person. We don't really know what they're doing, but we can watch those body movements, and doesn't seem very stressed out, doesn't seem to be very concerned about what's going on around him. And when he does or she does look behind, it is very casual. And as people might be saying at home, they might be saying, we're causing this, we're doing this, or we're bringing, this person probably has no clue we're following them. The California Highway Patrol, much lower than us. Them there.
Wow.
I don't know if checking for traffic or checking for law enforcement doesn't really make any difference. Look ahead of you, buddy. Just look ahead. We're getting back into those crazy rides. Triple digits, moving through traffic, quick lane changes. This is end of lens right here for as far as we in Skyfox go. So we can get a little closer with digital. That's it. But it gives you an idea at the distance that this bike is creating between us and the helicopter. We are climbing as well as making our way forward. So there is a little bit of that. Looks like we are getting back off the freeway again. Dylan, if you got me.
The motorcyclist eventually exited the 405 freeway at Warner Avenue in the North Shore and appeared to ride his motorcycle to Tommy's Restaurant in the Entertainment District and Magnolia Avenue. The motorcyclist then disappeared into the trees.
He's going behind us, Dylan, if you got me. No, you don't have me. Perfect. So definitely going behind us. There's Dutch Brothers. It would have been good coffee. And let's see where he pops out here. Please make a turn. Thank goodness. So we're not getting too far from it. Dylan, you still got me? Dylan? All right. Looks like we're in a residential neighborhood. Maybe this is coming to an end. Looks like he's parking it. Dylan? He is. He's 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock. He just stopped behind this industrial area. He's behind a tree. Of course. Of course he is. Coming around to 12, and if we can go forward from here, that would be helpful. Maybe he was just late to work, Are you working with somebody? I don't know if he's there. If we can see if he's there, that'll make a decision if we're going to stay or go. Tommy's. He went to Tommy's. Good choice. Okay. All right. I hear you. Oh, he went through the drive-through. And I lost him. I wonder if anybody else has him. Does anybody else have him? What about that other station that we don't talk about? Yeah, I bet you he went through the drive-through and he went back out. He gone. He gone. He gone. No, not really, but if you want to, we can. Unless he pulled into the, you know, I didn't know there was a drive-through. I didn't even know there was a Tommy's. I don't come down here. I don't have my passport. I can't go to Orange County. You know, my credit score isn't high enough. All right, we're done.